Welcome to the Authentic Self Revolution. I'm Carly, your guide on this journey to genuine living and the real wealth of freedom and fulfillment. In a world that just loves to tell us who we should be, we're here to remember who we truly are. We're here for the questioners, the misfits, and anyone who's ever felt there must be more to life than following the script. Together, we'll explore what it means to revolutionize your life by living it on your terms. Each week, we peel back the layers of shoulds and musts and dive into practical ways to live more authentically. If you're listening only and want to see my face, you can head over to my YouTube channel, Owning Authenticity, where you'll find my podcast, along with a treasure trove of other content aimed at uncovering who you truly are. Your authentic self is waiting. So let's dive in. I am super excited for today's episodes where we are going to talk about bringing our dreams to life. When we think about living authentically and why do we want to live authentically? Why do we want to take the time to invest in ourselves and bringing our authentic self to the surface and living from the center of that core truth? Why? Why? This question drives me for my entire life. Why do we want to do that? Why is that so important? And it's this right here, what we're going to talk about in this episode of living your dream life. Those dreams where we put them on the horizon. We say, well, someday, I'll write that book. Someday, I'll open that business. Someday, I'll fill in the blank. And that's the first practical exercise of this episode is fill in that blank. What is it in your mind that you've got on the list for someday? Someday I want to be able to travel. Someday I want to be able to work from home. Someday I want to be able to... What? What is it? I'm so excited, and I would love to hear in the comments on social media, tag hashtag authentic self revolution. I would love to hear, what are those dreams? And a literally major step towards living those dreams is even declaring it out loud. What is it that you actually want? And to set the intention that someday is actually going to happen. Okay, because someday is an illusion. All right, there's only today, there's only right now. And so when we say tomorrow, when we say someday, we are putting it in a category of never going to happen. Right? And so that's why today's episode, we're going to get really practical and tangible about how you can every single day be bringing your dream to life a little bit more, because spoiler alert, that's all we could ever do is a little bit more living our dream life, And it's not this magical place where once we have everything figured out, we're going to shift into this gear of all of a sudden all of our dreams have come true. It's not a miracle. It's a thing that you build on purpose because you want that, because you deserve it, because you decide to give yourself permission to do it. And that's what this episode is about. So the very first part of being able to live your dream life is even understanding what that is. Like I'm saying, fill in the blank. What is it that is a factor of your dream life, of your authentic vision? And here we have to separate what our soul wants, what our heart wants, what our body wants from what society expects. And this is definitely I think about my 20s where I was very much climbing the corporate ladder. I was very much interested in the next promotion, in getting the bigger title, getting the bigger salary. These are societal standards of success. And there is nothing wrong. I am not here to shame anybody about wanting anything. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And in fact, if anything, the way I chased material success in my 20s set me up to be able to have the freedom in my 30s that I'm exercising at this point. So I can't look back at that version of me and say, you messed up, you did it wrong. No, if anything, I'm really glad that she did what she did. So this isn't a process of shaming or blaming yourself right now or past versions of yourself. That's not what this exercise is about, but getting clear on what do we do because we think we should, right? And what are our dreams? Those are two different things. And a lot of times, for a lot of people, myself included back in the day, we get on that hamster wheel of the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. We're just climbing the ladder. There's just the next rung and the next rung and the next rung. And we're not even necessarily paying attention to what wall is that ladder leaning up against. What's at the top of that ladder, and do you even care about that? So this conversation, the very first part at least, is about really thinking about what are those dreams? Maybe even secret dreams, things that you hold in your heart that you don't even say out loud. Maybe you are the kind of person, I hear this quite a lot, and I had a whole experience with it myself the other day, where maybe you're the kind of person that says, I don't know. I don't know what my dreams are. And I want to speak to that for just a moment for this conversation, and really for any time that comes up where you're on your authenticity journey, you're on this journey of getting to know your core truth, and what bubbles up from inside of you is, I don't know. Okay, so we've all been there. Like I said, I was there like 3 days ago. Okay, like it's fine that you're there and that you come across this I don't know town every once in a while. The first thing I want to say is, I don't know is a form of numbing. It's a form of hiding something from yourself. And the only reason we ever deny something, right? Denial. The only reason we ever deny, suppress, hide something from ourselves is mostly because it's too painful to face. And you might be thinking, but this is my dream. And like, why would my dream be painful? You think about it, like, why aren't you living that dream? Probably because as much as you want the dream, you're scared of something else even more. For example, this year in my personal coaching, like where I'm the coachee and I'm working with my coach, like one of the main things that I have been working with this year is my desire to be seen. Part of my dream is to be a professional public speaker, and podcasting and YouTubing and taking speaking engagements. Like all of that is part of me building that dream for myself. I want to be seen. I want to stand on stage in front of thousands of people, and I want them to listen to my message. I want to move them energetically into raising the quality of their own life with my words. I want to be seen. Okay, like that's real. That's tangible. It is online. All right. It's on the surface of my life. I am actively working towards it for years at this point. And the part that I'm working on with my coach is that my desire to be seen and my fear of being attacked are not yet separated. Okay, so every time I want to be seen, it almost always is like, I want to be seen, but I don't want to be attacked. Okay, so like just what I did there is like, I'm pressing on the gas pedal of I want to be seen, and then I'm pressing on the brake pedal of I don't want to be attacked. I want, I don't want, I want, I don't want, I want, I don't want. And this is where a lot of people live in terms of their dreams, in terms of pursuing their dreams, is a little bit of gas, a little bit of brake, a little bit of gas, a little bit of brake. Where are you going? Nowhere. Okay. Or if you are going, it's very slow. It's very, very slow. And that's where I've been, for years, like working through this on my own. And now this year, investing in myself, investing in this dream, investing in me being a match to this dream meant getting my own coaches and working on not necessarily like conquering the fear of being attacked, but digging down into it and understanding like what's really at the root of that, and how can I integrate that so that I am less afraid of that thing? Basically, how can I face that fear so that now it's not holding me back? I can press gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, gas pedal, and very little break. Okay. And so this understanding your dreams and what if you don't know, the deeper, like more persistent, I don't know, is again a form of self-denial. It's a form of avoiding something painful, like a fear that is bigger than the dream itself. And another, like, this is obviously a general conversation, so I can't speak specifically to each individual person, but another root cause of I don't know what my dream is that most likely you did know at one point and you've talked yourself out of that dream so many times. You've basically put it in the category of not possible. And because it's not possible, why would you think about it? Why would you pursue it? You kind of gave up on that dream. And so then when somebody comes along and is like, well, what's your dream? And you're like, I don't know. It's like, no, you do know. We've got to go resurrect that dream that was put in the not possible category. And we've got to dismantle the limiting belief that it's not possible for you. Maybe not possible at all, or maybe just not possible for you. Those are two different things. Okay. And decide that it's friggin' possible. All right. So like that might be the step that's needed. Maybe you already know your dream is possible. Maybe you already know that it's possible for you. Maybe you have this gas pedal, brake pedal thing going on. You open the flow, you close the flow. You open the flow, you close the flow. Like it just depends, right? Everybody's at their own point in this journey. So again, I would love to hear in the comments, like, where do you find yourself on this journey of living your dreams? Some other obstacles to living your dreams, along with the limiting beliefs that we have about how available is this dream and how possible is it for you personally. We also have the fear of failure. Okay. And like, we did a whole episode on that. Like we did a whole episode on perfectionism and the fear of getting it wrong. This is a big one that like, we're afraid to be what? Like, this is really worth thinking about if you relate to fear of failure at all. And even if you don't consciously relate to it, I would still invite you into this contemplation of like, what is failure? And why is that a problem? And like, when you start thinking about that, when you start thinking about like, why is failure something you want to avoid? What images of the past do you see? What projections of the future do you conjure when you think about why is fear something to be avoided? Why is failure something to be avoided? Actually, that's the first question. I'm going to leave that in there because that first question is not a bad one either. Why is fear something to be avoided, right? And I would say, if anything, in the journey of living our dreams, like making friends with our fear is part of how we do that. But maybe that's a conversation for another day. Another obstacle to living our dreams is just a lack of clarity. Like we spend a lot of time on the hamster wheel, climbing the ladder, like doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. Okay. And when you think about, like, let's say you make a new friend and you've spent 5 minutes with them, how well do you know that friend? Not very. 5 minutes worth, right? Maybe you got a couple details. Well, our dream is no different. It's a relationship that we have. So if you spend 5 minutes with your dream, you'll know 5 minutes worth of details. You'll have 5 minutes worth of clarity. If you spend an hour with your dream, you'll have an hour's worth of clarity. You'll know that dream quite a bit better. And if you spend 10 minutes every day for a year, 3,600 minutes with that dream. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours cumulatively built up through little 10-minute increments. You're starting to become an expert on that dream, right? So clarity is something that we build on purpose over time because we believe that the dream is possible. And if you don't believe the dream is possible, you're obviously not investing that time in getting clear. So you see there's kind of like an order to how to bring this dream more fully online. Another obstacle is the external pressures and expectations. So like, for example, I was watching The Voice last night, and this of The Voice just, I cry happy tears every time I watch it, because these are people living their dreams. These are people like going after what they want. These are people willing to risk public embarrassment to stand on the stage and get no chair turns. Okay? Why are they doing that? Because their dream is worth it. Because they believe it's possible for them. They believe they've got a shot. So they're willing to go stand on the stage and show what they got and let themselves be judged. Okay? Like I admire the hell out of these people. But one of the contestants last night, he was talking about how his dad was not supportive of him doing music. His dad wanted him to get a job, make money, save for the future. Like, this kid is like 26 years old, and finally his dad had a change of heart where he's like, wow, like you really got something here. Like you could really do this. And it was with his dad's support that he is pursuing his musical dream. So like sometimes the external support won't actually come. And then what do you do? Do you follow the path that these external authority figures are laying out for you, that they want for you? Or do you risk disappointing these people and follow your dream anyway? It's a very personal decision because, only you live with the consequences of that. Only you can decide if it's worth it or not. But I guarantee the more time you spend with your dream, the more worth it becomes. Because that dream is lighting you up from the inside out. That dream is literally breathing life into you every single day. To get to wake up in the morning and wake up before the alarm, wake up excited to get out of the bed because I get to go do whatever it is. You're living your dream. Right? Like it's magnetic at pulling you forward, pulling you into your day, pulling you into the next thing. Life gets fun. And so, like in earnest, like who doesn't want that? And there are people that push back on, like when I talk online and like talk about this, about like live your dreams, like you deserve to fly, and like all this good stuff. Because I believe it, because this is what I'm about for myself and for anybody else who wants to hang out. And there are people who push back and they're like basically, why can't you just be happy with like this life, like where, you stay safe and you go to work and like you should be more grateful. And I'm like, only you can know, are you grateful or not? And I think it's personally, I believe it's possible. This goes back to limiting beliefs. This belief of like, either you're grateful and accepting what you have as like enough and you're not trying to make it more. And like, if you're trying to make it more, that means you're not grateful. I mean, if you believe that, then it's true. And if you don't believe that, then it's not true. Like I believe that you can be 100% grateful and building more. And so that's where I live, is like grateful for what I have and excited for the more that's coming. The more that's coming as a result of the investments that I'm making today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, but always today, right? Because tomorrow, when I make the investment, it'll be today. So doing the incremental baby steps, we're going to get more into this as far as the action plan. How do you do this? Baby step every day. Every single day, baby step, baby step, baby step, baby step. And this fits in perfectly with the last obstacle I have here is procrastination and self-sabotage. And honestly, I would put the limiting beliefs, the you should just be grateful. Like all of this is just, that's self-sabotage. That's you believing that you don't deserve more. That's you believing that like you have as much as you deserve. And really living our dreams is an exercise in self-worth. It's like, do you deserve to have a life that you are excited to wake up into? Do you deserve to have a life that you are proud to lay your head on the pillow at night and think back over your day and be like, I'm just beaming with pride at the things that I did today, what I created, the conversations I had, the everything, like, do you deserve to get to live that life? And there are people who would call it greedy. And I call that, believing that it's greedy, self-sabotage. You don't have to go after your dreams. Nobody's ever going to walk into your life and demand that you do it. It's something that happens from the inside out. And the deeper and deeper and deeper I dig into myself and allow myself to excavate the past pain and shame and purge that out of my system, it opens up more space inside of me for worthiness, for a sense of self-love. And the more I love myself, the more I want to get to live my dreams, right? So living your dreams, it's an act of self-love, it's an act of self-worth, and putting it off, delaying it, I'm not ready yet. This is the practice. This is the work of living your dreams, is getting ready. And that's where I say, like, there is no point where like your dreams are fully manifest. Like every time I live into more of my dreams, I bring them more to reality. From that new place, that new reality, I can see, ooh, this little bit more would be so fun. This little bit more would make it even better, and then I bring that to life. And then from that new reality, this little bit more would make it even better. Make it even better, make it even better, make it even better. Because here's the thing, is that we are all living in this planet together. And we are all sharing this energetic soup. We are all making a ripple effect of permission. And we are all having influence all the time. All the time. You don't have to try to have influence. Your energy influences every single person you ever cross paths with, no matter what you say. Or if you say nothing at all. We are all having influence, and the way we treat ourselves is the influence we're having, is the permission slip we're signing for others. So when we keep ourselves small, when we keep our dreams on the shelf, that's what we're encouraging everybody else to do too. So when we don't believe we're worthy, we also will subliminally, subconsciously tell everybody else that they're not worthy either. And that breaks my heart. And the only way, if you're somebody who's like, well, I want other people to live their best life and I want to help them get there, but you ignore and neglect and procrastinate on yourself, like, this is the work, is like the only way to help encourage other people to thrive is to set an example, to lead from the front. You go first. You show what it looks like, right? You confront the fears. You do the deep inner work that lets you unblock yourself and move forward into that next level of expansion. Show what it looks like. And then as you do that, as you are thriving and radiating with life force, other people show up and they're like, what are you doing? How are you doing this? What is this? You seem different. Tell me everything, right? I want some of that. And that's magic, right? And that's attraction and repulsion. That's like the foundation of energetics, is like when we are having fun in our life, we are attracting everything to us. And when we are miserable in our life, when we are saying like, it's fine, I'm fine, this is fine, I don't need more, more is for greedy people. Like when we're doing, that's repulsive. It's pushing things away from us. I mean, you're telling it out loud of like, I don't need more, And again, it breaks my heart, not just for the person putting them in that situation, putting themselves in that situation, but also for the permission field that they're creating around them. that like that's what you're sending out into the world, is that nobody should want a life they love because you are not willing to live it. And I personally am obviously a believer in you should get to live the life of your dreams. Okay. And the only way I can send that message effectively is to do that myself, is to live my dreams, is to sign my own permission slip, is to give myself a stage, is to give myself a platform, is to give myself time to get clear on what my dream is, and then spend my time, my energy, my money on bringing that to life. So investing in my dream, like it doesn't just happen. It's not a miracle. So as far as like these obstacles, I have some very, very, very practical, tangible steps and strategies for overcoming these obstacles. Because again, this dream that we live, it doesn't just happen. It's something that we build. So the very first strategy is a growth mindset. All right. And this one is especially helpful for reframing and overcoming the fear of failure. Failure isn't real. Like when you really break it down and you give example after example after example after example of like, what does it mean to fail? It's a learning opportunity. Okay. You know more now than you did before. And you're going to do better next time because now you've had this practice. Now you have this experience. Great, right? Like I learned. That means that you can either succeed in society's traditional definition of that word or learn. So you're either going to win or you're going to learn, which means you won. So you're going to win. You have nothing to lose when you have a growth mindset. So investing in cultivating that for yourself, reframing any challenges, any stress, anything, any self-criticism, any harsh judgmental tendencies that you have towards yourself, reframing those in terms of how am I growing? What am I learning? Is as good as money in the bank when it comes to living your dream. Because like I said, like a lot of living your dream has to do with facing the next little fear that's in your way and figuring out how am I going to get around that. And a growth mindset goes a long way in doing that. The next strategy for overcoming obstacles is reframing your limiting beliefs. Like I said, like this belief that if I want more, then I'm not grateful for what I have. That's just a belief. And what is a belief? That's just a thought. That's just a story. And if you believe it's true, it is. And if you believe it's not true, then it's not. And so these limiting beliefs, these stories that we tell to ourselves that cage us in to our life, we have free will. We get to do whatever we want. But one of my biggest pet peeves, and I don't tolerate this from myself or my clients, is to cage yourself in with a limiting belief and then complain about being in the cage. And it doesn't make sense. You're using your power to put yourself in there, and then you're using more of your power to complain about being in there, right? Every little bit of living your dreams, creating your dream reality, like finding your authentic vision and bringing it to life is a matter of telling the story of what you're doing, of the little bit more that you're doing, of the gratitude that you have for where you are and how far you've come, and the excitement that you have for the future that you're building for yourself. Like it's all in the story you tell. It's all in what you believe is actually true. The next strategy is creating that clear, compelling vision. And like I said, that's just really a matter of time of like, how deep is that relationship? If your dream is something that you think about like once a year on January 1st, like try to set a New Year's resolution, like this is the year I'm going to do it. And for like 2 days, you spend 10 minutes a day, like doing the thing. Like, yeah, it's probably not going anywhere. Makes sense. If you had a boyfriend that you saw 10 minutes a day twice, and then you didn't think about him again for a year, how successful do you think that relationship would be? Probably not very. And so our dream is a relationship. How much life are you breathing into that relationship? And really that dream, that relationship is a relationship with your future self, right? Like, are you investing in this future version of you? And again, we all have free will. We don't have to do that. The next strategy is to build a supportive environment. Get yourself support, invest in support, invest your time, energy, and money in cultivating a support system for you. And so what that might look like is to join a pre-existing community where, for example, one that I'm a part of is called the Abundance Collective. And it's a bunch of women entrepreneurs who are building businesses, who are they are making their full-time livelihood out of something that they built themselves. And so this Abundance Collective meets once a week. I get to just show up. It's all right there. I pay about $100 a month to be a part of it. And I get to expose myself every week to other people who have a very similar dream and vision for their life as I do. And what this does is it normalizes it. You put yourself amongst people who get it. And then you don't have to spend all this time justifying why you want to go after the thing. They know why you want to go after the thing because they feel it and they're doing it too. And so then you get to hear ideas about what they're doing. You get to catch excitement and enthusiasm from what they're doing, from their wins, from their milestones that they're hitting. It's like, okay, keep going, like renewing your spirit on purpose in these supportive environments. And the last strategy is that daily baby step. Okay, that resilience and persistence of like, no matter how it's going, no matter how it's looking on the surface, there is always the next little step you can take today. The next little step you can take today. And sometimes it'll feel like it's totally dark and I can't see where I'm going. And why would I take a step? I have no idea which direction I'm even facing. But like, just even the act of taking this step is what's turning on the lights. Is like diving back down into the vision. Like, well, it looks the same as it did yesterday. Yeah, but you're spending time with it. You're demonstrating to yourself that you're ready for it and that you care about it, that it's valuable to you. We only spend time on things that are valuable and that we're getting benefit from. And so spending time investing in your dreams, even if it's 5 minutes a day, even if you're just going to write it on a page, again today, for the 100th day in a row, my dream is to be a professional public speaker. Like whatever that is, fill in the blank for yourself. That counts. That counts as showing up for it. And like when I say like I've been living this dream, I've been preparing for this dream for a long time. I first had the vision of myself as a professional public speaker when I was 7 years old. Okay, so I'm 36 now. So for almost 30 years, I have been baby stepping my way towards this dream of I am a professional public speaker. That's who I am at my core. That's what I'm here for. And that doesn't just happen. We get ready to be ready, to be ready, to be ready, to be ready. And that happens through those small daily baby steps. And so the action plan of like, okay, I can see my dream clearly. What baby steps do I take? Obviously, it depends on your specific dream. But if you are really, no matter where you are on that spectrum of living your dreams, I want to invite you to an event I have coming up that is called Authentic Self Uprising. And this event is to take your dream life to the next level. And so a big part of that is even getting clear on what the dream is, but also towards the end of the event, we are going to craft out this map, this action strategy of how do you go from where you are now to living that dream life that you can see in your mind, right? How do you bring that to life? And by the end of 5 days, we'll be on Zoom Monday through Friday, October 14th through 18th, live on Zoom for an hour each day. We will build our way into you walking away with that action plan. So I am so excited to be bringing you this event. You can register by going to owningauthenticity.com/uprising. It is totally free. You are more than welcome to invite your friends to come through the event with you, and expect to walk away clearer on what your dream is and how to get there, how to actually bring it to life, how to have that deeper relationship with your future self and bring that future version of you more into the right now moment. Okay, so this is a powerful container. And again, totally free. Why? Because I am passionate about people living their dreams, okay? I believe we all deserve that. I believe there's nothing greedy about aspiring to live a life you love. Okay, I believe that it is 100% possible to be grateful for everything that's already in your life and to want it to be even better. I believe that the deeper you love yourself, the more you will want it to be better and better and better. That actually building your dreams is the most potent act of self-love you can do. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, again, you can visit owningauthenticity.com/uprising and sign yourself up. Opt in. And if you're catching this episode after the October 2024 event, please still go to the website because this is something that I'll be hosting every few months. So there may be another uprising right around the corner. You never know. I would also, like I said, love to hear your reflections, where you're at in this journey of living your dream life, your someday life. I would love to hear down in the comments. You can also reply to my email if you got that on my mailing list. And until next time, I do hope that you are taking such good care of the precious, authentic one that you are. I hope you are allowing yourself to build your dreams daily, baby step by daily, baby step. And so will I.